Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we will be talking all about my summer TBR. I think majority of the books that I would love to read in the summer is either not out or I do not have it physically, but I do have, I'm looking at my notes over here, but I have I have 3 books that I have physically because they're like older releases, and then some of them are new releases and some of them I just haven't gotten around to getting the physical copy. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start with our TBR. I have about 8 books, and then right before we finish this video, we're also gonna do a little bit of journaling content of like a spread that I usually dedicate for every season, the seasonal journal spread. So you'll get to see that later. But the first book that I would love to read is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I just finished Lady Midnight. It was a 6-star read. I was in the middle of a reading slump, so it took me like 2 months to read that book. But after I finished it, I just really want to jump back to the series, which is obviously the second book in the Dark Artifices series. I am so excited to read the third book because I don't want this series to end. I think so far in the Shadowhunter world or Chronicles, the Dark Artifices series might be my favorite, if not close second favorite. Because the first one is probably the Infernal Devices, like Clockwork Princess. That book was insane. And I think the crumbs that we get of Jem Carstairs here as well. Is that even a spoiler? That could be a spoiler. Ignore that. I would love to read this book. So the next book is my attempt in reading more from my yearly TBR, because I've checked the other day, I'm not even halfway into it, and obviously we're in the summer, so we're pretty much halfway into the year. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading more from my yearly TBR, and the book that I will try and read this summer, I'm not gonna try, not that I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna try my best, but I'm not gonna force myself if I ended up not wanting to read it. But it is R.F. Kuang's Catabasis. It is in my yearly TBR, like I said so many times. But I think every time I get into R.F. Kuang's books, I'm just so nervous in how academic it is and how difficult for me to just read, or whether I need to have my phone on the side and like keep on translating or keep on looking up certain terms because I'm not aware or I'm not like familiar with the term. But yeah, I know that this is like a romantasy, one of her first romantasy releases. One of, or if not the first one. 2 academic rivals trying to save their professor who accidentally got stuck in hell. I think it could be a really interesting read, but I do love academic rival trope, and I do also love dark academia, so I think this would be fun. It is not that long, but this book is especially heavy. I'm not sure why, but let me show you the naked hardcover. Oh, it's exactly the same. Never mind. As the front. I know there are a couple different there are multiple different covers that are out, I think. This might be my favorite one, but I also like the black and white and yellow one that I will put up on the screen. But yeah, really excited to read this, and wish me luck. And then the next book that I have in this TBR, which is also the last book that I have physically, is Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen. All I know is that it's about werewolves. That's it. Oh, werewolves or dire wolves? Are they the same? I think dire wolves? I'm not sure. It does not say in this book, but supposedly dire bound, probably dire wolves. I know it's something about wolves. I mean, you can see on the cover, and there's dire, so probably dire wolves. And I think the second book came out either recently, I'm not sure. It's called Fury Bound, and obviously I want to get into it because a lot of people say like, do not read this book when the second book is not out yet because you will regret it because of the cliffhanger. Obviously, I listened, and I'm gonna read that this month. I have one more book before we have just contemporary romances. I think the next book is a little bit of a contemporary romance, but I think it's more like fiction. But the next book I have is Anne of Avonlea by L.M. Montgomery. I love Anne of Green Gables, which is the first book in this series. I think in total there are 7 books? I'm not sure, but the first book was 5 stars. And I think the second book could be a 6-star read. So I'm super excited. We are pretty much in this series following our main character, Anne. And In the first book, we followed her during her childhood, and then now, in the second book, we are following her pursuing her like higher education, like university, and also there's a little prospect of romance, like enemies to lovers, kind of, oh, like dislike to lovers. Anyway, they don't like each other. It's a misunderstanding, but it's understandable why there was a misunderstanding in that, like in their relationship. But I think slowly but surely, now that they are more exposed to each other and have this forced proximity from the work, from the uni, they're slowly but surely like falling in love, I think. There's nothing happening yet, but from the inner monologue of Anne, I can see it happening. But yeah, that is Anne of Avonlea. And then now I have 4 more books, and they're all contemporary romances, which I am excited to read because lately I have not read a lot of contemporary romances. And a few years back, I can binge them back to back to back. And then now I've been loving more romantasy and not really binging books like crazy. So I want to go back to my like binging contemporary romances because they're so fun. Okay, the first book I have is a recent release, I think. I think it came out in May. I have not picked it up. It is Fever Dream by Elsie Silver. I have read so many books from Elsie Silver, and I do love her writing style. And so far, nothing has hit as hard as Chestnut Springs. And this is a start of a new series, so I'm excited to figure out whether this series could be similar to Chestnut Springs. What is the second series that I read by her? It's the Rose Hill series. And that was okay, but nothing crazy. I mean, the 4th book was really good. I think I'm just like into age gap romance. I think. Wait, the one in Chestnut Spring, was it age gap romance that I liked? I'm not sure, guys, but I think I just love the tropes that she puts in her books, although they're like overdone, but they're still fun. Silly, goofy, fun time. So I love it. And then moving on to the next one is a book that I've seen so much, and I've heard there is a trope, a cheating trope in this book. That's why I have been avoiding this book and not reading it because, I don't know, I feel like cheating trope is just not for me. You cannot come back after you cheat. But we shall see. I'm going to be reading Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I will also want to read her newest release, which is Our Perfect Storm, I think. Yeah, the covers are stunning. I really thought they were pictures, but they're like oil paint. I'll be reading them not purely because of the covers, but because a lot of people have talked about it and they actually love it. So I'll be reading that. And then the next one I have is Dolly All the Time by Annabelle Monaghan. I have read all her books. I love all her books. They are super short, they're very summery, they're very bingeable, and most of them are always 5 stars for me, and sometimes I still think about them time to time, not like very often, because I think the books that I think about the most are like romantasy or fantasy series, not really like a standalone contemporary romance. But sometimes when I'm in the mood to read contemporary romances, I will probably like compare them to some of her books. And she is releasing a new book called Dolly All the Time, and I think it's gonna come out July, if I'm not wrong. And I will probably be there lining up and buying the book. So yeah. And then same goes with the last book that we have in this TBR, which is Into the Fading Twilight by Catherine Cowles. I read the first book, which is Across the Vanishing Sky. It's the start of a new series, I think called Starlight Grove. Honestly, not that crazy into this book because we got introduced to the character, and the character is like a grumpy single dad. Although I love single parent trope, I feel like I'm not sure if I'm buying their story so much. We shall see. We will read it soon anyway. The first book was good, but it's so overdone. I think I do love Catherine Cowles' books. I read like 15 of her books last year because they're so bingeable, they're so short, they're so just like thrilling because it's mystery, thriller, romance, right? So it's super good, super fast paced. Everything you need in a summer read, in a contemporary romance read. But also at the same time, I feel like I've read that specific book just with different characters, like in her other series. That's why it's not hitting as hard. And with this second book, it's quite similar. It's like heavily traumatized 2 people coming together, overcoming their traumas and finding a new family, which is very good, all good and well, but it's just so overdone, I think. whenever it comes to her writing. We shall see if I'm into this one, but I will probably continue reading the whole series because I cannot wait for the 5th book that will come out summer next year, I think. She's also, okay, this is a side note, but she pumps out books like no other. She pumps out like 4 to 5 books a year, which is crazy. Although I feel like I'm into her standalones more. Standalones. I don't know. I've read one by her and that was a 6-star read. Maybe I should reread that book. Either way, that was my TBR. I really am super excited to just read a lot of contemporary romances and some heavier. Yeah, I think Lord of Shadows will be heavy on the mental because Julian and Emma and also Diego and Christina. But Direbound, I think probably get some getting used to or getting into because of the world building, and then Catabasis is probably the more intricate fantasy that I will be reading this summer. But yeah, before we end this vlog, we will do, like I said in the beginning, a books I want to read in the summer spread. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will see you back here after that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little journaling spread session with me. I really enjoyed how it came out. It is pretty similar to the spring one that I made, but I do want to make it quite cohesive throughout the year and just see like different pictures differently. Although I have more pictures this time. But yeah, either way, let me know what you will be reading this summer because I would love to add more books into my ever-growing TBR because I'd like options. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in my next one. Goodbye!